people, this is going to be your season review around the top 3 that managed to get there in the end. Man City doing their 4-peat, unfortunately.
We're calling it a top 3.
Well,
we can do.
might
One of
as
them
well.
didn't really manage to get there too much.
Well, they dropped off, but it's around the people that were there in the title race that got claimed in the title race. Yeah. It means more trophy.
Sorry, no, it's not. It means more anymore. It means 4.
Oh, it means 4 trophies.
It means 4.
Then you got Arsenal just missed out by what was it? It's 2 points in the end, and then we can talk about that. What potentially might have went wrong in hindsight. And then you got Liverpool
throughout the season.
Klopp leaving, so this could be quite a long record, depending. But we need to start the first place team, obviously Man City, and around there, and the consensus of rivals not really ever, including myself, not about just caring, but don't learn. And when I say I don't learn, I mean along the lines
Coaching
of
as well.
City are not the same. Pep's not looking as great. I didn't say that. The signings.
How are we gonna replace the goals that De Bruyne brings? How are we gonna replace the goals from Gundogan? How are we gonna replace the goals from Mahrez? But the first thing is the no one cares thing, right?
We do. I care.
And I hear you care, but I've always said, right, if you don't care, you should care, right? If you don't care, you should care, because ultimately, if you don't care about who's finishing first place, does that mean you're going into every season wanting to finish second, right?
True.
But I've actually got to a point now where the realization is you shouldn't care, right? And what I mean by that is that, of course, you care that you come first, but if you don't come first, like I see I've seen a few people saying no one watched the City Trophy Parade. Listen, let me tell you clearly, I've said I'll never fail so many times. When I'm in a title race with another club, I don't watch their games because I don't want to see them winning. Yeah. So
fair enough.
Prime example, the City documentary. If you're a City fan, you watch it. Class of 99 documentary's out. I won't watch that, because I'm a City fan. So anyone that doesn't care about City, I agree with you. You shouldn't care about us. You shouldn't, right? Honestly, because that's how football is. So, but let me tell you now how we feel, And this is one of the things that I think the City fans care about so much is we're sick and tired of people telling us how we feel, how we are as a fan base. You don't know us, right? You know the people you see on Twitter. That's all you know, right? I can tell you now how I felt, me personally, that day at that game, And
you mean on Sunday?
On Sunday, I can tell you that. Luckily, I had sunglasses on when Foden scored that goal. That first goal in 2 minutes, right?
Drop the shoulder, ping it top left,
I had tears in my eyes. Anyone that watched that game on TV will have heard the reaction, the noise, when he scored that goal. And this is where I have to firstly say, Foden has come of age so much this season and this is why everyone has been speaking about this kid for so many years, globally, right? There is a reason, And everyone said, oh, well, he might have all the trophies, but that's because he's part of the squad. Do you know what? Okay, I hear it. Fair enough. People have said he's, all right, why is his manager playing him out of position? Well, that's because if you think of all the players we've had, I think it's actually great recognition that Pep has said this young kid is that fucking damn good, right? That although we have Bernardo Silva, we have De Bruyne, we have David Silva, we have Yaya Toure, we have all these players, I'm going to find a place in this team at Phil Foden, age 17, 18 years old, right? Because I tell you now, if Liverpool had Mo Salah, do you think Saka would have been starting on the right fucking wing? When he was 18, 19, 20 years old.
If they had most... Yeah, no,
obviously. Right. So there we go. So that's why... Anyway, here's the thing that you've got to think about. Yeah, 100. And to even find a place in that team for Phil Foden, who's coming up between the ages of 17 and 20.
People don't understand. He's 23, isn't it?
22, just 22? Turned 24. But 24. There's a few things that I think that I love. Firstly, this season, he stepped up. And when everyone said, oh, how are we going to cope? De Bruyne was injured till January, right? How are we going to cope with no... Gundogan getting the goals? How are we going to cope with no Mahrez? Foden stepped up and said, this is how, right? Yeah. But then it's not just that period. It's even once De Bruyne came back, business end of the season. De Bruyne's got your Newcastle game. People will talk about that. There's been 1 or 2 games. De Bruyne stepped up. The Luton game. But that was in the Cup. That was in the Cup, FA Cup.
Oh, it still counts.
Yeah, but if you look at the number of games that Foden has stepped up and gone, do you know what? Yeah, when it's looked like City might struggle to score goals and stepped up and just said, nah, I'm having this, right? He's coming absolutely
Brentford,
clutch, right? Brentford,
Man United,
Everton. You could keep going,
Tottenham.
bro. You could keep going, right? And then here's the thing: that the one thing that since Pep's been at City that's been, apart from the 100-point season, there's been moments where, I mean, QPR, prime example, even if you go back to before Pep, you go back to 93-20. Last day of the season, when City need to win, we seem to have this thing of making it difficult for ourselves, right? With all these players we've had, when it's been their time, when it was Foden's time, this weekend, Foden's gone, nah, do you know what? I'm not going to put these fans through pain this time. I'm going to fucking grab this game from the first minute and make this about us. But here's a little thing that not many people will know, right? The day before the final day of the season, Foden and his other half rushed into hospital with his kid because they thought they had something wrong with him, yeah? He had something... luckily, he was on the pitch, so he's fine. But he went through that the evening before. And he steps up that day, scores 2 beautiful goals. And I just think it's beautiful for us to look at Phil Foden coming of age. And now it's not conversation anymore. It really isn't. Southgate has to play him, whether he's going to play him in the right position. But do you know what? I will say, Foden can still play wide, and as long as he's being given the permission.
Well, as long as he's not playing with
inside.
someone like Hendo and people that are not technically secure.
Yeah, and people that
Do you know
allow
what I mean?
him to say, Southgate can't
Don't
say.
play with Gallagher.
But the key is Southgate can't say to him, look, yeah, I want you to play on the left or I want you to play on the right and I want you to hug the touchline and I want you to stay there. He has to be given the permission to come inside. Me personally, I'm going...
And I'm not being funny. I don't think we have the left back this time round because we've got like
even
Joe
know we can
Gomez,
play
Luke
left back.
Shaw, maybe Trippier. We don't really have the left back to do it this time around.
No. But listen...
Unless Luke Shaw's fit, maybe.
The biggest talking point is not just Foden, it's what we did, right?
Yeah.
And after the game, obviously after the pitch invasion and when we've gone back to the stands and we've stood there waiting and then the presentation starts and whatever, I was having a few moments and there's a few City fans caught me just kind of stood there, just smiling, just shaking my head because
you made history, mate.
We've just done a four-peat, right?
Cheers, mate.
That is...
Or try to do
but
a
this is
double
the thing,
three-peat.
United fans. This is why it means so much to us, yeah, because whatever we do, someone wants to throw shade on it. And last season we did the treble and the three-peat and, you know, oh, well, you didn't do it first, we did it first. Well, you didn't fucking do this first, did you? Right? We've done it. We've done the four-peat, right? Off the back of... Last summer, everyone said, oh, I don't think they'll win the league next season because do you know how hard it is to go for a fourth time?
When I deep it, you shouldn't have won the league in hindsight because of what happened, right? Like in terms of the people that left and that. You shouldn't have won it. But the fact is, it's like, who the hell is going to step up then? Everyone was looking at Arsenal. Liverpool had...
I think Arsenal stepped up.
No, they stepped up. All right, look, we'll talk about that. And I'll talk relatively... good about them, to be fair. There's nothing really to throw shade with Arsenal. I don't, because
Arsenal stepped up, bro.
I'm gonna be real with you. All right, they stepped up. 1 win and 1 draw.
Do you know what? Here's the thing. Everyone looks at, right? So I understand why everyone look at the Villa game.
Yeah.
And everyone look at the draw with the... No.
And the draw at City.
Yeah, everyone look at them. But I think there's a pivotal moment before that as well that no one's talking about, right?
The West Ham one.
Before that, because that was January, right? Go back to December, right? Go back to December, maybe even late November, when Manchester City were going away to the Club World Cup, right? And you'll remember me saying, I'm worried that by the time we return from this Club World Cup, Liverpool and Arsenal could be eight points ahead of us. Then Arsenal lost at Villa and they drew at Liverpool.
They did, didn't they? Yeah.
And no one's talking about those points. Now, let me just say, an away trip to Villa and Liverpool, they're not easy games. However, during that Christmas period, somehow Arsenal allowed City, Arsenal and Liverpool allowed City back into the title race, right? That was the first time. Now, there's another thing you have to think, that because everyone will try and pinpoint different moments and I could sit here now and say, listen, if we want to do all this pinpointing, then no problem. Rodri lost his head, right?
That was one part.
When he lost his head, he missed 3 games.
Yeah.
We were
all
knocked
3
out the Carabao Cup, right?
by
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Would we still been in the Carabao Cup? And would that have ended up with Liverpool not winning that if Rodri didn't get sent off? We're only doing ifs and buts because everyone's doing them, right? And what I'm trying to say, we shouldn't do ifs and buts. Secondly, he missed the Arsenal game, right? Which we lost.
Yeah.
Now, if Rodri started that game, that could reduce Arsenal by 3 points, or it could reduce Arsenal by 2 points if we get a draw, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then we lost to Wolves, another 3 points. So potentially that's a Carabao Cup we could have still been in, and that's 6 points
Probably
we could have
run
gained
away
on
with it.
Arsenal, right? But then, off the back of that, the next game we lost after that, Rodri came back, but Rodri had got some points against him in, the card point thing.
Yeah.
He then got some more... he then got another yellow card, and so we missed him against Aston Villa
Was
when
he-
we
was he
lost
there
to
against
Aston
Arsenal?
Villa.
Was he there against Arsenal this year as well?
Yeah. At our ground he was, but their ground he wasn't.
Yeah, that was it.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
missed him against... We then also, in I think early December, around the 6th of December, we missed Rodri against Villa for one game, which we
Yeah,
lost.
which you lost,
right?
yeah.
So if we're doing... But here's the thing. It's not about that. The season is 38 games, right?
Yep.
And I think the biggest thing that Arsenal and Liverpool didn't do was put it out of reach. And that's what you have to do. When Pep is fucking about, when Pep is rotating, when City had injuries, which we did at the start of the season, no De Bruyne, the Haaland period.
This is why.
This is where you put us to the fucking sword.
This is why I say I think we'll talk about Arsenal. This is probably a good segue, because the first thing you need to say with Man City, I'm going to pinpoint 3 players,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be everyone's favorite players. That I think for City that stepped up, right? And they won't get enough recognition. And I'll do it for the same for Liverpool, and I'll do the same for Arsenal.
yeah.
So I'll pick 3. You pick 3, right? Akanji.
He would
A
have
lot of
been
people
mine.
say Vardio, but I'm going Akanji. For me, Akanji has been all season.
Yeah.
Like, I would say he's been the most consistent defender.
Yeah.
I think Diaz has been the most disappointing out of all of them because
Yeah.
he's usually quite solid
Yeah.
throughout.
Although
Midfield,
Diaz has come solid the last 10, 15 games.
yeah, but I didn't look at him as the main guy. That's
No,
the
because
managed part.
Kanji had earned it.
Yeah, exactly. Right back, left back, inverted, whatever you want to
Yeah, wherever he plays.
My second player in the midfield, it's not. I think it's easy to pinpoint to Roger. I'm going to leave that one for you, but no one likes to say it. But it cost him 30 million. Kovacic.
Yeah.
Kovacic. Now, Kovacic, from January onwards, this is where he gets a little bit more tech. You don't get enough about what kind of roles he was doing because there's all different types of roles. And this is where the objective had. And not a forward one, you could say Foden or whatever you want to say. But yeah, it's Foden, isn't it? He's the notable forward.
All right, so because you said them, I would agree on Akanji 1,000,000%. It's bizarre that Akanji also we've got to give. This isn't one of mine. We have to give a shout out to Ortega because he saved Kanji's ass against Tottenham.
Oh,
right?
yeah, that's just so that. You know what?
That one moment. But this thing, do you know what?
Can I change it?
But no, because you don't need to. Because this is the thing. If you're talking about players putting
Yeah.
a foot wrong, I think most players have
Most
put a
players
foot
put
wrong,
a foot wrong.
right? So Akanji, we can say that. I can say Kovacic against Arsenal in the first game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kovacic, one thing you will know is when Kovacic has been playing alongside Rodri, he has not put a foot wrong, right?
Yeah.
That is a partnership, yeah? But Kovacic has been unreal, man. And he's also, with Rodri looking a bit tired, these last 10 games of the season, Kovacic has been Rodri's legs.
Literally.
I want to give a big shout out to Doku as well, you know.
End of season doc he's getting criticised.
Do you know what? I'm going to give it the whole season, and I'm going to be honest with you and say I've been mad critical of him, right?
You have, yeah.
I loved him when he started. I think the fact that what he gives us as City fans, at times where sometimes, when we're having to be patient, I go back to the West Ham away game, which was, I think, late August, early September, right? Beautiful day. And we went 1-0 down. We brought on Doku. I think it was 1-1 at half time. We brought on Doku, right? And when we were trying, it was 3-1 in the end. When we were trying to play a patient game, sometimes that can frustrate the fans. You bring on Doku, he gets your ass off the seat.
Yeah.
He excites you. He had some great moments. But I think the one thing everyone needs to remember him is his age. it's his first season in the Premier League. Now, Leroy Sané, when he first arrived at City, it took 6 months before we started really playing him regularly. He didn't really start playing until Gabriel Jesus arrived in the January of that season. Then they all of a sudden dropped Aguero and went Sané, Jesus, Sterling, right? Doku's started. Now, at times, yes, I've never seen anyone be able to beat his man so quickly, and every single time without failure. But then sometimes his end product wasn't great. But these last few weeks, it's like his end product has improved as well, and his decision-making has improved.
Decision-making, I'll give
I
him
think
that.
he got an assist on the last day, didn't he?
He absolutely tore them a new one.
And
the last goal.
then you also look at the penalty against Tottenham.
Yeah, that's
that
another
was
one.
created by him. I think Doku's been brilliant, so I think he deserves a shout out. I think he's going to be immense next
It's a bit
season.
hard out that front line to deserve any shout. I mean, Haaland came to life at the end.
Yeah.
At the end.
I would also say, I'd also say, although he did miss 2 chances against West Ham. Yeah, he missed 2 chances, both in the first half.
I remember the first one.
Yeah.
It went
First
right.
one was where the first one was that was the second one. The first one was where he tried to do the most, almost like one of his mad kicks again. And he kind of fumbled it. Yeah. But I've got to say Vardy as well for me. I think you knew I was going to say him. I think he's been unreal. Do you know what? The price was a lot, but he's 21. I think this is where I think people like him and Doku, and Kovacic, all 3 of those. But I think maybe him is the most important. The Vardy one is when a team has won the three-peat and won the treble. Sometimes it's like, right, we need some desire. We need someone that hasn't won all of this yet. We need someone with the right mentality. Vardy stepped in the first interview I heard of him. In fact, we listened to it, I think, on the way to Coventry, when we were going to get some of your furniture, right? And he said, they asked him, did Kovacic help to make your decision about joining Manchester City? And he said, no, when a club like Manchester City that are competing for all these trophies come looking for you, you don't need any convincing, right? And his fluent speech of English, it just made me think, this guy's coming here. He's not coming here to fuck about. He's coming here to win trophies, right? And that's exactly what I think. I think his hunger has been very, very important.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Pep is elite. That what he does is, between August and January, February, I think while he's rotating and playing different players, I think he is testing the desire of players and working out.
I think that's key.
Working out who he can trust. Because if I would have asked you, Cass, from August last year to probably January, February time, if I said, listen, it's business end of the season now, City must win every single game, they've got a fully fit squad, who's their centre-back partnership? For me, it's clear.
Probably Ake.
Nah, it's Diaz and Stones.
Oh, what? This season?
What I'm saying is, before the business end of the season started, if I was to just say to you, everyone's fully fit,
Diaz and Stones.
It's Diaz and Stones.
Diaz and Stones,
but do you know what?
It's not been them.
Because Pep's you know what, Akanji, I've been able to rely on you all damn season. Whatever I asked you to do, you stepped up. Stones hasn't been about. And I think that's because that's what Pep's done. He's looked at it and gone, who can I trust? These are the players. I would have said business end of the season is going to throw Jack in. But he didn't. He's gone, no, these are the players I can trust. These are the players that are stepping up. So I think, look, Pep's a difference. And here's the thing. I said at the after party to Steve, and I said it to a few other fans, I said, we have to understand, right, that at the start of every season, no one is promised trophies.
That's a fact.
No one. And the time is coming when Pep leaves. Yeah, the time is drawing closer and closer. And look, watching Klopp leave, I have to be real. In a year's time, this could be Pep leaving Manchester City. Now, when Pep leaves Manchester City, does that mean the narrative from rivals is we are completely fucked when Pep leaves? The truth is, we won a league, we won trophies every single season from 2011 till when Pep arrived. I'm pretty certain, right? Whether it be a FA Cup, a Carabao Cup, a league, or we kept winning trophies, right? I'm right or wrong there, but ultimately, we won 2 leagues before Pep, right? And that was when we weren't as established. We are now an established club. We have the DNA that we now have that we've built in this era. So things are going to be different. But will we be dominating football? Of course we won't. And do you know what? We have to accept that and we have to be fine with that. But what we've done is, and it makes me smile, that in maybe 5 years' time, maybe 10 years' time, maybe 15 years' time, I'll be in a pub with the same people that I'm going to pubs with now. Yeah. I might be in the Europa League. I might be in the Europa Conference. I might be in the Champions League. Yeah. But I'm going to be somewhere with the same group of people and we're going to be able to go, remember that period where we made. And in life.
Cheers, mate.
Life is about, bro. My mum always says to me, yeah, as you get older, it's all about making memories. Yeah.
Of course it is.
And that's what we're doing now. I know it's not promised, but what a fucking memory. We have created the best memories that no one's ever going to take away from us. But
well, it's a good segue now.
To who? Who are we going to talk on Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about making memories. They also made their own history, which is weird. I think they said they've scored the most goals that they've ever done in a Premier League campaign.
I think they've won the most games they've won in the Premier League campaign.
I don't know what their total points ever is. You might have to let me know in the comments there. And when you talk about the defense as well, I don't really remember more of a solid defense than this Arsenal one.
Yeah.
In my lifetime, I mean,
this is
go back to Sol Campbell,
you know what?
Ashley Cole and that. I don't know if they conceded 29.
So if you would go back, because it's interesting.
You used to go back because you're playing against two strikers.
If you can look at that period, yeah, the Invincibles period.
Yeah.
But then you can also go back to the older folks like me. If you look back to like the late 80s, the early 90s, when it was 1-0 to the Arsenal was their chant.
That was it.
1-0 to the Arsenal under George Graham. The defence then was with, I think it was Lee Dixon, Nigel Winterburn, Tony Adams, Martin Keown.
Yeah.
That defence was mint as well. But here's the thing with me and Arsenal fans, right? There's a real, I would say love-hate. There's probably a love-hate. It's probably a hate-hate, right? And especially now, just after we've won the league, yes, you go on my social media, right?
Yep.
You will see I share a lot of things that I see. I find it funny.
Oh, yeah, I get one about every day. Oh, look at what this Arsenal fan
The
said
reason
to me.
for that is, ultimately, let me be clear. I have no issues with Arsenal Football Club. I think they're a fucking well-run football club, right?
Yeah.
My granddad was actually
And they've got
an
style
Arsenal
as
fan,
well.
right?
Let's be real. Their kits are mint.
No, but I don't want to do this
launches are
whole.
mint.
They're the king of kits.
No, but like you know
but
what?
I don't want to. The reason why I throw shade is not on the club. It's on the fans because some of their fans, not all of them, hold tight. Dan Potts, right? Dan Potts messaged me probably about half hour after the game, congratulating me. He is a gentleman, right? And there's some decent Arsenal fans. There's a lot of decent Arsenal fans out there, but there's also a lot of arrogant,
irritating. Let's call it conundrums, maybe.
Hold tight, Gunnar Lee and Lee Gunner. Get on with both of them. They're both sound. But there's a lot of shameless Arsenal fans that just want to, like, and even the prime example is like now people say, oh, someone messaged me this morning and said, you spent a lot of time on social media doing too much. You should be enjoying it. Well, firstly, I did not post a single thing until the morning after, because I was out celebrating. But when I got in from celebrating about 3 a.m, and I go on Twitter, and all I can see is shade on Manchester City from Arsenal fans, right? That's all I'm doing is biting back. All I ever do is bite back, right? However, when we do podcasts like this, I can talk on Arsenal and I can say, I really don't think Arsenal did that much wrong.
No, they didn't, mate.
I even look at the City game.
It's fine margins, mate.
I look at the game at our place and I understand why people say in hindsight, but I'm never going to sit there and say that a draw at the Etihad
is bad.
Is
or
bad.
Even
the
at
only
the
thing is,
even at the Anfield,
they were claiming before that they were going to beat us. But a draw is not a bad result. Now, as for their defence,
it's a little size that they messed up on.
When it comes to the Premier League team of the season, I'll be honest with you.
A lot of them deserve
I'd
to
probably
be there.
put Ben White at right back.
Well,
I'd probably put Gabriel and Saliba at centre back. And then I put Vardy at left back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I think Saliba and Gabriel have been absolutely mint.
And I think Gabriel's been the better of the two.
Possibly.
I think Saliba.
I think they actually they complement each other.
They complement each other a lot. But Gabriel's just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because I think he's had one little bozo moment this year. I think it was one. But you know when you cut them out, he's at the age where you should be cutting them out. Them simple mistakes.
But if you think
He's
how
just-
we used to get a card and used to foul a lot, he's cut all of that
He's
out
cut
of his
out.
game.
And he's a rattle job.
And
He's a rattle job.
Oh, 100.
You see what he done to
100%.
Haaland? Like,
Yeah,
he was
him
a
and
rattle job.
Haaland seem to be in each other's ears. I'll be honest, but
Yeah.
when I was hearing all Arsenal fans going on and on about this Saliba and how Arteta should bring him back, I was thinking, once he comes back and he's absolutely shite, how fucking wrong was I? Look,
Even Kai Havertz, man.
them Tottenham fans call Romero a Rolls Royce, right? Listen, Romero,
Been good this
Is-
season, I'll say, though.
he's just a
he's not
shit
Rolls
house. It's just, it's a shit house that loves to foul and scores a few goals, right? If you want to see a Rolls Royce of a defender, that is Saliba. Saliba
Yeah.
is a Rolls Royce of a defender.
Out of everyone you can think of in the Premier League in terms of centre backs, where you're going to the very top,
Yeah, 100%,
it's
bro.
it's probably
100%.
him. And you might have a different name in the comments, or you might have another name, Daps.
I think Van Dijk's deserved to be put in conversations. I think.
No, but-
I'll be honest with you. I think. Look, you got to remember, Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake both signed the same summer. Neither of them have lost the Premier League, right? So I think Ruben Diaz. But I'll be honest, I've seen a not so good season of Ruben that I still want to see one more before I'm really putting him up there with those conversations. But
Yeah.
I don't think Ruben Diaz is a defender that I would compare to Saliba. I don't think they're the same type.
No,
They're different.
But in terms of young centre back ballers and all that stuff in the world and all that, especially in the Premier League, anyways, I don't think no one comes close to him.
Kanati's not even a conversation for me.
I think Kanati,
Different type of defender.
different type of defender. You know what? Kanati's more of a Gabriel type defender for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
And
with more pace.
Van Dijk's catching on. He can get a bit of flowers, to be fair. It's obviously
Van Dijk's earned his flowers. man.
yeah, he's still there. He's just
Van
let's
Dijk's
be
earned
real.
his flowers.
But with an Arsenal, look, they sorted out a lot of the defense, even though it wasn't really an issue from last year.
miss
But they
Timber.
kept consistent. Timber, we don't know what he's going to be though. That's the only thing I'll say on a critical part is that I don't know what he's going to be for Arsenal.
He looks good. Looks
Yeah.
good.
They're-
I think he's.
Their attack, you'd think their attack got worse, but
I think
weirdly
their
this
attack
got
got
more.
tired.
I think, you know what? I know people love Trossard. I know people love Kai Havertz and so forth, but I didn't expect Gabriel Jesus to drop off that hard. I didn't expect Kai Havertz to do that good. So that kind of just benefited itself.
Yeah.
But they tried to solve an attacking issue, but you got 4 goals out of Gabriel Jesus. Credit he's been injured, but didn't really contribute as much. Then the left-hand side, you'd think Trossard, Martinelli. That's where I think we're missing is where the hell
Martinelli.
did Martinelli's
Yeah,
form
agreed,
go?
agreed.
That's what really fell off.
I also think that.
The
Look,
midfield was
I'm
being
a big fan of Saka, and firstly, I don't feel Saka needs an excuse this season because his numbers don't
he
lie.
just limps off the pitch.
His numbers are great, but I will say this season, if we're talking away from goals and assists,
Yeah.
and we're saying on the eye, I don't think Saka's had as good a season. But do you know what? I'm going to give him
Give
a
him his
touch,
numbers,
yeah.
mate.
But even away from the numbers, I'll say, do you know what? Yeah, he's played a lot of game time.
A lot of games.
And I'll always question. I'm still questioning now. I know Jesus has been injured a bit, but
They need a right winger, man.
Jesus at City's best position was on the right, and why at times over these last 2 seasons,
Got played on the left a couple times.
but his
Yeah.
best position was on the right for City, hands down, right. And so at times over these last 2 seasons, why Arteta, who knows that, seems at City when Jesus was playing on the right, why he has not at some point said, "Do you know what, Saka, you need a rest, Jesus." Because they're still saying we need cover for Saka. You've got cover for Saka for the 100th time. Even if you buy a striker, you still got cover for Saka. Jesus was part of a Premier League winning side playing
right.
wide right with a false 9, right?
Foden, right?
Yeah, or De Bruyne,
Or De
right?
Bruyne, yeah.
Through the middle over Jesus, and he played right. So that's one of the things with Arteta. I don't understand why, because I think Saka's needed a rest.
No, 100%.
And will he get a rest now? Realistically,
Euros-
Southgate's not going to rest
He
him.
needs about a 6-week vacation or something.
Southgate's
But you know what it is?
starting him.
Only thing I'll put to Arteta is, you know what it is? We know that Arsenal fans, they're desperate to win that league. So he's going to put his trustees on the pitch all the
Yeah.
time. He wants that league no matter what, and he'll run you into the ground to get that.
I hear you, but this is where,
And that's
look,
where-
he'll get backed, and
I think
he deserves to be backed. But here's the thing now.
You know what? Can I say something as well? Yeah, look, I spoke about it properly last. I was a bit shameless. I was a bit shameless the other day, and I said along the lines, you spent 200 million. Granted, one of them was injured for the season, just to improve on 1 draw, 1 loss. Yeah, and I was just shameless about it. I'm like, that's pathetic.
Now they had a Champions League run.
Yeah, they had a good champion. But what did we say at the start of the season? What does Arteta need to do to stay in a job? We either said win a Champions League, if not win a Premier League, if not do a double and have a good season,
or win an FA Cup and finish second, win a trophy and come
second. But there was
second.
another one. Finish second, push City all the way,
Which
and we
he
said
did.
and a good Champions League run.
Yeah, which
they did.
I think the thing now that I honestly, and do you know what? I've said over the last couple of weeks that I think Arsenal took the hurt of losing that league last year, and it seemed to build a desire to want them to go again. But I will be honest with you, right? When I think just before I flew out to Istanbul last year, someone said to me, if City don't win the Champions League this time, then what? Because people always say you have to lose it once to then go and win it, right?
Yeah.
Liverpool, under Klopp, they had that first season where we pipped them to it. Then they won the league the season after, yeah. I think this is going to be a new challenge for Arteta. And this is where they're going to need. Timber will be important, right? Maybe Declan Rice having that pain, that he can have another bounce back season. But Arteta has to now try and find this team, step up. And bro, let me tell you now, come August, September, October, November, December, I have no doubt Arsenal are going to look the same. But what is going to be worrying is when it gets to February, March, April, May, next season, if they do not become so far ahead of City, that
like 12 points.
Otherwise, they're going to be thinking, fucking hell, 2 years in a row we've been in this position and we know what's happened. It's going to be on their mind. Now, the other thing that they might, we don't know yet, but we've just done a 4-peat, yeah? If next season is Pep's last season, if next season is Kevin De Bruyne's last season,
Kyle Walker maybe as well.
He might go before then. If next season is even Ticky's last season,
they're going to want to bow out.
You think Pep's looking to leave this league without winning it one more time, right? That this is where Arsenal fans will say progression. I agree with you. I think, like I said, Arsenal haven't done much wrong, right? I think they will spend, but the hardest thing they're going to do, and this is where I think what Rodri said on the pitch, right? This whole, where he's talking about their mentality, he's got in their head already. He's got in their head ready for next. He's planted a seed in every Arsenal fan and player's head on the last day of the season that your club's mentality is still not right. Because ultimately, everyone's saying Arsenal's mentality has improved. It's got better. I agree, right? And Rodri probably actually agrees. But what he's done is he's planted that seed. Now, Rodri can fuck off on holiday. He's not on any social media. And he's going to have a good holiday, but he's planted a seed that can grow in their head.
But at the same time, that seed could be something that pushes them even further.
Maybe.
Because I like what they got. I don't think their mentality... I think Arsenal's mentality is there. I think it's there. I don't agree with Roger on that.
But do you think it could be...
Go on.
To go again for the third year in a row?
No, it's difficult because if Pep leaves, Arsenal fans instantly say it's our time. But
that won't be for another year.
Yeah, but even if it is our time, even if Arsenal do win, I'm not being funny. I don't expect... this is just... Clip it if you want. I don't expect Chelsea to get any worse than they've been. I'll be honest.
I think Chelsea can get better.
I think Liverpool with Mr. CEO Michael Edwards, we don't know what kind of manager slot's going to be. So you're going to have to say, I don't know. I don't know where they're going to be. Could be a surprise. Man United is another entity that everyone says, nah, you're so shit, you're standing down. I'm not being funny. Let's be real. It's not going to be 8th. It's not.
It's not going to be 8th, but it's not going to be Manchester United next season are not going to impact Arsenal in any way.
In 2 seasons' time, this is what I'm talking about, in 2 seasons' time, when
when Pep leaves.
Not next season. Forget next season. That's Arsenal C. I don't see anyone else. There might be a surprise package.
United could be back trying to mingle in 2 years' time, maybe.
Because things can...
The only problem is I think you've got a lot of players.
You know what it is? Football's not a given, right?
Nah, nothing.
It can flip on its head in literally 2 seasons. All of a sudden... Arteta's new squad, 2 years later, you've gone from 8th, 5th, and 2nd. You're like, and then 2nd again. You're like, oh shit, how did that happen?
Yeah,
I
hear you.
So, but with them, look, Arteta's got something good going on, and I'm in the consensus. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, he does need to go for an FA Cup or something. At least have something there, but trophies are not given. But on that note, it's just like, who of a caliber of a manager comes in right now and improves them to make sure they win?
Arsenal?
Who goes head to head? No, Because like,
Oh,
look,
bro, the
fans
manager should be a conversation.
fans
Should
want-
be a conversation.
Fans want him sacked, right?
Really?
Because they want to win. Oh, come on, man. We know.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but really,
Yeah, they think it's not good enough, and they're in their feelings, and that's fine. And you know what? I'm not even going to say they're wrong, because in hindsight, about 10 years ago, when there was an absolute pool of great managers,
yeah.
oh, you're gone this year, mate. But when you think about what's out there, there's Pep. Who's under Pep? You would say there's an Ancelotti and there's a Klopp, and Klopp's
then
not available.
and then
Ancelotti's
there's a few other names you could go with. You could scream Simeone. You could say Zidane, right? But these are ones that I don't think they go to
Simeone
Arsenal.
hasn't been amazing in
No, I agree.
in Spain lately since
Agree.
2021.
I also think, and then I think
high wages as well.
I think Zidane will be the same.
You know what? I don't know.
And someone said about Ancelotti. Look, Ancelotti. Remember when in January Chelsea and Arsenal were being linked with Benzema?
Yeah.
Ancelotti ain't going Arsenal. It's not worth the risk. His CV now is too blessed. He's ready to sail into the sunset. Right?
Who's that?
Ancelotti.
Yeah.
So
He's cool.
But the biggest thing is as well is
Cool.
for me, with what Arsenal have from a team, the team spirit, from what Arsenal have with the style of football, that who would you get? Because if you're thinking right now, next season after, if Pep goes, this is where you need to strike and win a Premier League.
Yeah.
If you bring in a different style of football manager, well, he's got to make quite a few changes.
And
then
not
all of a
just
sudden
that,
there's a drop off.
And there's not just that. When a manager goes, they have their favourites and their players take to them. And then you got to look at risk. In 2 seasons, let's say 2 seasons or next season, in 2 season time or whatever, the contracts start running out and you have to start looking who's going to sign, who's not going to sign. You have at risk Saliba, you have at risk Saka, you have at risk a few players, right? Whoever it may be. Like, but the thing is, that's not the fans' jobs. But the pool of managers, we just mentioned it. We mentioned 5 names.
Most
and
of
what's
them are
available
unreachable.
on-
You probably...
Mate, Xavi, we don't know what he's going to
Yeah.
be. Xabi Alonso, we don't know what he's going to be. De Zerbi is, oh, come on, man. Like, we don't know what that's going to be. Hansi Flick doesn't even get mentioned there, and he won a 6-2 pool under Bayern. We don't know what's going to happen there. Nagelsmann, how good is he really going to be?
Do you know what? I think the truth is, I hate to say it, but that term, trust the process, the board has gone with the process. When people say, I don't know what the process is, the board does, right? The board does, right? And they're deep into this process now, yeah?
Yeah, and they want to earn money,
You
mate.
change that process, you're starting as good as from scratch, right? And I've said it a few years ago and people laughed at me. Arsenal are far ahead in their process than your club are, right?
Oh, way
You
further.
do not want to be back, and Arsenal fans, you'll admit, you don't want to be back where them lot are, yeah? You're on the way.
I don't believe they will be, but they don't want to drop off all of a sudden from challenging to a 4th place.
I think Arsenal they're gonna spend well this summer, I think.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, so figures come out as well about it. They only imagine in winnings, they only earned about 200,000 less than you did in the Prem. They got a lot of money to spend.
Probably.
They earned something over 200 million.
I don't know how this
About 200 million.
How they work out what people get?
Winning, so first and second get a certain amount.
Oh, right, so
and
the
then
difference
Premier
between
League,
that
and then they got
between
an extra
first,
70.
second.
They got like 70 odd million from the
Yeah,
Prem
yeah.
or whatever it was. Figures could be wrong. They got like for getting to the
But through their
quarterfinals, get another
merch, they would have
79
done a
million.
madness,
Oh yeah, and they brought in a lot of short-term, long-term sponsors as well.
Yeah,
so they
of course
got
they did.
20. I think they said 25. They're stable in a financial position. Arsenal are looking
Bro,
very good.
Listen, the truth is that Arsenal, their kit and their ground is sponsored by
Emirates.
Yeah. They've got that oil money, right? They've got that oil money, bro.
Aye.
They have that oil money. So I expect them to spend well. The striker thing, who they get, I think they will get one now because I think ultimately, I think Jesus is
I
time.
think they need to sell Jesus, sell Zinchenko.
The
get a
one
bit of
thing I
money
would
in.
say what Arsenal do need to be careful of with when they're picking a striker, right, is because we've seen it. When you play a style of football like City and Arsenal, and you move to playing
with a number 9.
with an actual number 9, and this is where you need to So Haaland's a number 9.
Yeah, he's
Tony's a number 9, right?
different type. Yeah.
Right. So, and that's exactly what I mean. That you have to be careful because ultimately, if you go for a Haaland, understand at times you are losing a player, right? So then all of a sudden the ball possession might become a little bit more difficult.
Well, they've got 2 names on their list. Which
Ivan
would
Toney,
suit
I
them.
think, suits.
And the other one is Gyökeres, who's already been in England in
There's
Championship and
another
balled
one that
out.
they've been linked with
Osimhen.
recently. Nah,
No, Sesko.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to go for. Let that be a Chelsea.
It surprised me a bit. That.
He's a baller, but I think they need to sign someone now. Like
Yeah.
Gyökeres
I
got
think
about
Tony.
30.
What about Watkins or Isaac?
Isaac's another one.
Isaac.
See, Isaac,
Isaac would suit
Gyökeres,
them.
Tony. Now you got two players that are proven, but there's one already been in Championship and been breaded. He come from Brighton, so and he's actually a really good player. He's got something like 47 GA
that?
this year. Gyökeres,
Where's he playing now?
Sporting Lisbon, ridiculous baller. Like we're talking link up, channels.
You know,
finisher.
getting a number 9 from Portugal often works really well.
But the thing is,
ask Liverpool.
He actually know because before then he was in the Championship at Coventry and he absolutely finessed them all. Swedish player, very good. So he's actually played in England already and he knows the physicality of it. So he's got Premier League's a different.
We'll see,
ballgame.
but I do think Arsenal are going to strengthen. I think Timber's as good as a new signing. I do think Arsenal will again.
Yeah.
If I do the same as what I said last year, which was who I think will challenge.
It's Arsenal.
And I said Arsenal and Liverpool.
There's going to be a surprise in there, but I just don't know who.
I don't believe Liverpool will challenge next season.
No, I think it's going to go through a phase. But I think
they're
it'll be
the phase.
good.
Oh, bro, I
That'll be
think
good.
I'm not saying they're going to drop off, but the truth is, if I look at Liverpool over the last few seasons, this season they finished 3rd.
Can I give you a name?
Last season they finished 5th. The season before that they finished 2nd. The season before that they finished 4th. So if we're being real, their kind of average is probably finishing 3rd at the moment, Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I think they'll have a similar season to that. But I think Arsenal will.
I'm going to say a
will
name.
be the one pushing.
I'm going to
us.
say a name, and it's just a quick. I think the surprise package is not Chelsea. I think everyone's looking at them thinking, oh, they done really well. I'm going to say Tottenham.
Nah.
No. Hear me out, yeah.
Nah.
No, I'm not going to say they're going to win it, but I think the surprise package will be Tottenham.
You and Deji have become too close.
Nah. You know what it is? I like the recruitment, right? And I like what they're going for.
Oh, you might like their recruitment, but listen,
I
Levy
believe
will get it wrong. Levy will fuck it up again. Levy
No,
will
I think
get the
Tottenham
wrong
will do well up
signings
till
in.
about January or something.
Yeah, but
they'll be there.
It's not challenging.
No,
For
it's
me-
not challenging.
For
But
me,
I said,
if I'm meaning
I said the
challenging,
surprise package.
if I'm talking my surprise package, I will be honest once again and say Arsenal aren't my surprise
they're not
package.
certain
Arsenal
anymore.
challenge, right? I would say it's between Chelsea and Liverpool for me. Liverpool would be a surprise because, and whereas this season was not a surprise to me that Liverpool challenged. I said it last summer.
Yeah.
I know Liverpool fans will say, "Oh no, transition." Listen, you bought 4 players, we brought 3. I think so. It's not.
Do you know why I say Tottenham?
I think it's more if Liverpool's interested to see who Edwards keeps.
Yeah.
Because I think long term, look, next 2, 3, 4 seasons, Liverpool will be back there.
Yeah, of course
I
they
think.
will.
Because I think Edwards, even if Schlott doesn't hit the ground running, I think ultimately they'll get rid and get someone else in.
Yeah, well, I think it's Tottenham, man. They get rid of people like Ben Davies, Emerson Royale. They get better ball. It's not hard to get better ballers than them. I think they're defensive. They'll probably get another centre back of some sort. They might even keep the young baller they got from Blackburn, Ashley Phillips. He's from Manny. No, his brother. What's it called as well? Then you got the midfield. They need options. They need more. They're going to get another striker. That's evident. I think they're going to get. I don't think he's fond of what he's got on the wing at the moment. But I think a bit of Tottenham, and obviously they're in Europa League this time, so that's one way to like.
I'm not having Tottenham.
But I think because I reckon they'll go off to a flying start, and it's
Oh,
going to
they do
annoy
most-
me.
Bro,
No, they will do it, but I think they're going to be a
they
surprise
often go off
package.
to a flying start.
There's always that.
I think Chelsea. For me, I think Chelsea and I think Liverpool maybe. I'll put this out there very early doors. I think City are winning the league next season.
Yeah.
And that's because I do think also at the end of next season, Pep is probably going to leave City. And I think there's not a chance in how he's leaving this league without winning it one more
I
time.
wonder when he's going to announce it.
Well, what
If
he
he
said
does.
the other day,
Do you announce it to the end? You probably announce at the end.
what he said is that I think his exact words pretty much were, at this point, I'm closer to leaving than I am staying. However, I have one more season. I have at least one more year on my contract, and I see my contract out. So he ain't going, right? He's not going this summer. But he said, I also need to be around the players and see what their desire is saying. Because I think if he sees the hunger, but, you know, there's talk of him and De Bruyne. New York City's new stadium opens, I think, 2025, summer 2025, or maybe it's beginning of 2026. And I think City Group want Pep and De Bruyne over there for that, and then Pep to move into a consultancy role for the whole of the City football group. So he still won't be too far away.
Yeah. Well, sort of role that did vacate. You know, Jurgen Klopp, Jurgen Flop. How
And
do you
who
wanna name
who
it?
comes in City? I don't know. I have no idea. We just have to wait and see. Man, De Zerbi, I was just going to say quickly, what happened there?
I don't know. I don't know who's paid it. So I made a few options. I made 5. I said, right, I'll put Barcelona in it. I'll put AC Milan in it. I'll put Chelsea in it just in case. And that doesn't look like it's them now. Man United, and I put Bayern Munich. And I thought, all right, what names can you discount now? Bayern Munich now. You can discount them.
Why?
Well, because they have the company and a couple others.
Doesn't mean that Zerbi's
Oh yeah,
not
and
on the
I
list.
already said they already asked them. Fabrizio come out and said they're not looking at
They're
the
not
Italian.
looking- okay.
Nah. So I thought if they did, they would have announced it now.
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to wait? Brighton season's over. Who's not? And then I looked at Barcelona. I don't know what's going on with the Xavi
Yeah,
situation.
no one knows what's
but
going
it's
on
cheap release clause, so don't know. I'll still keep them in the fold personally, just in case.
You lot?
We're moving silent, and the fact nothing's been announced.
That
I think
could be an
it could
option.
be it
Yeah, it
after
could
the
be,
FA
yeah.
Cup. Chelsea, Pochettino looks like he's going to stay.
This is proper musical chairs, isn't it? If you everything
Yeah.
you said there, because I'm
The only
thinking
last
buying
one,
Tuchel. So if
Juventus,
Vinny does go, where's Tuchel going?
Juve ruled out.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
looking
yeah.
at Thiago Motta. They put a 3-year proposal on the thing for him. And then last one is AC Milan, who he actually supports. That still need a new manager.
Okay.
But they were looking at that Francesca, something like that. Don't know what his name is, Fonseca. But I don't know. It's a cheap
Weird,
release clause.
just bizarre. I think the one thing I would say is I remember a few months ago, De Zerbi made some comments about what the board and the club actually
Yeah, 'cause
desired,
it's
what
weird.
the aim was. I think he's a winner,
and
I
then
think
a day
he
later, no, that was literally a day later. He's like, yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think this guy, I think he expressed himself to the board that look, but he probably knows that in the summer, if certain bids come in for certain players, they're being sold, and I think he's probably gone, yeah, do you know what?
I've already had that.
I'm not a player I'm not a manager that is here basically to build up your earn you profit. I'm here to win trophies, and if you don't want that, no problem. Let's part ways.
Yeah. Last one,
Liverpool.
Liverpool, man. It's like I think you know what. You put them up there. We'll do a reaction to our predictions properly. Trust me, and I'll do it. We'll go through it. Liverpool. I didn't have them that high.
Yeah, I did.
I think I had them at 5th again or 4th or something like that. Had Man United 2nd.
I just think, look,
Where did it go wrong, man? Like,
do you know what? Hold tight, Mancunian way, Martin. Right?
I know you're gonna prefer to as well.
He said, right, when Klopp announced it,
Yeah.
and then they won the Carabao Cup,
Yeah.
right? But Martin said, "Tell me a manager that has announced this early in the season,
That they're gonna leave.
right?" And he's spot on, right? And they go on to achieve stuff. Now, obviously, when he first announced it, everyone was doing it for Klopp and all of that crap, right? But I've always said that with Klopp, that when things are going well and the momentum is with him,
Yeah.
he's a perfect manager. You know, he don't speak to anyone. You know, if Liverpool are winning, back-to-back, winning, everything's good. He's giving them cuddles, right? And he's not having to bark at anyone, right? But let's be real. We can only look at how someone is in front of the press, right? Now,
Yeah.
when things are going well, Jurgen Klopp is the nicest guy in the world, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
The minute things go bad, he's not so. So if he's like that with the press, I would imagine that when the team is playing well and winning every single game, they love him. They fucking love him, right? He's high-fiving them, cuddling them, and
Fist
all
pumping.
of that, right? Fist pumping, all of that. The minute they get a result they don't like, right? And this, do you know what? This isn't just Jurgen Klopp. It's with a lot of managers. You have to speak to players a little bit different, right? And then all of a sudden, they're thinking, hold on, you're leaving us. We have to remember, Jurgen Klopp signed his contract extension round about a year and a half ago to say, I want to see this rebuild, right? A year into the rebuild, he's handing in his resignation, right?
Which was very surprising. And
Now, if you're a
it's
player-
got to be down to the Michael Edwards stuff, innit? It has to
Maybe,
be. Has
but
to be.
if you're a player, or it could be something else. If you're a player and someone's talking to you nicely, yeah, you love him, right? The minute someone speaks to you in a different way, and then you're thinking, hold on, you're fucking off and leaving us, right? And I honestly, I can't believe it, but I look at that. I remember the day I was out and I came in and you just beat them in the quarterfinals
Quarterfinals,
of the FA Cup, right? And I was saying thank you. Thank
I
you.
remember.
Because no matter what,
I'll do a
when Norbert leaves, He's not leaving with a quad, right?
Or prestigious trophy.
Not leaving with a quad, right? No, because at that point they could still win the league, which is prestigious, yeah?
Yeah.
But thank you. Even if they win the league, they ain't retained it, yeah? They've never retained it. He's never retained a trophy in the Premier League. I mean, England. And they can't do a four-peat. But it's like at that moment, everything went wrong. Because then off the back of that, I think then didn't they play Atlanta?
Yeah, they
and
got
lose 3-0.
smothered. They got smothered.
Then all of a sudden in the league, and it's one of the things that I got wrong because I did not. If we go back to when they won that Carabao Cup and a few weeks afterwards, I was telling everyone, I'm looking at Liverpool's games. I can't see where they're dropping points.
Yeah,
but it's just the confidence goes, and all of a sudden, everything changes. Now, I do think under Edwards, long term, I think Edwards actually hasn't been given enough praise for what he did for Liverpool first time round.
Yeah.
Everyone gives Klopp the praise.
because it's mad. Because you look at the 2 year. Let's call it the 2 year drop off for Liverpool. It's when Edwards left.
Yeah.
Like he left in 2022, I believe. Then the season 23, like that kind of period is like okay. It's a bit.
Off. This is where when I list where they finish in the league.
Or was it 2021 he left?
When I list where they finished in the league, right? It's all post Edwards. Before that, they won. And let's be real. The season before them winning the Premier League, when they came second, they won the Champions League. That was all under Edwards. The Coutinho money, Edwards. Mane, Edwards. Salah, Edwards. Ronaldo, Edwards.
Van Dijk,
right?
Alisson.
Van Dijk, Alisson, Edwards. Edwards has come out and said that he doesn't rate the signings. And this is where I don't think this isn't me knocking Klopp, because at City we've got Pep and Tiki. Liverpool in their prime had Klopp and Edwards.
And they went to
right?
Julian Ward, and it's just like, even though he's there again now, it's like it just didn't go well. And they've got that Jorge Schmadtke just to fill in for a little bit.
You need the perfect machine. For anything to become that good, you need the perfect machine.
Him as a CEO now, kind of, we'll see what happens, but I can only expect good things.
One thing I would say is where we would really need to worry, right, is if, say, Slot comes in, Slot, whatever his name is, comes in, right, and he doesn't do well.
The decision.
And they get rid of him.
It's down to Edwards then, isn't it?
Right. This is where we all need to worry, right? That if he doesn't have a good first season, the Liverpool board decides he's not for us. They get rid and go, do you know what? We went with a plan B because our plan A said he wanted to stay one more season where he currently was. And they look back at Alonso, right? Because Edwards and Alonso together could be a real fucking problem.
Could be. Shouldn't be, but hopefully not.
We don't know where Alonso's going to say, but what I'm saying is I think FSG, if it doesn't go well,
they'll be going all out for him.
They'll be going, look, before we drop off and go back to where we were a few... We've got to get someone
I think
in.
Liverpool fans, look,
will Salah stay?
Yeah, different season for them. I think he stays.
Will Salah stay?
I think he's staying. I think
Nunez?
he's confirmed that he's staying. Nunez has got. I heard he's staying.
Because I've seen all sorts from...
They need it. I don't know. They got to decide on their formation, which is looking like a 4-3-3,
Diaz wants to go
4-2-3-1.
Barca.
Diaz wants to. I think
Barca
Liverpool fans will be happy with
Listen, let me be clear, Liverpool fans, yeah? If you're trying to do business with Barcelona, with Diaz, right?
They're not going to pay you, mate.
You are going to need Edwards. You are going to need Edwards to do some next level voodoo that he didn't have to do on Coutinho, right? Because Barcelona are not the same club. So they're not going to be giving you that Coutinho money for Diaz.
I do wonder what's going to be going on. And look, I think Liverpool scored a lot of goals. I think they went wrong when Salah got injured. I think that was a bit of a turning point for them. They were doing well without him.
Dropped off because their defence was looking
the
unreal.
defence was mint, and then all of a sudden it's not so mint anymore. Like, don't get me wrong, they conceded chances. I still believe they need a DM.
They missed Alisson for a period.
Endo had his
missed Alisson for a period.
Yeah, but I think Keller was
You can't really.
solid.
Yeah, it's weird because you would think if you didn't watch the period where Liverpool dropped off and watched them form,
It wasn't really Keller.
but you would, if you hadn't watched any of the games and you just knew Alisson was injured, you'd probably go,
Yeah,
it's because Alisson was
it's
out.
not-
But no, I ain't heard. To be fair to Liverpool fans, I ain't heard Liverpool fans blaming.
I
that.
don't know because it's weird because the usual players that would step up. Look, don't get me wrong. Look, weirdly, Cody Gakpo stepped up. Szoboszlai being Arsenal season. Let's be real. Salah had a drop off in performances. Didn't really.
he did.
That's their talisman. That's not there.
But that is now the thing
Nunez.
after the AFCON.
They need to sort out what they need. I think Edwards has got a key in saying
Brand
what
of football they want.
brand of football,
Yeah.
but they need to know who their starting lineup is in the front line because their
agreed.
midfield picks itself. But I still believe they need a DM.
Maybe
And
the Jota injury was.
Jota's
quite
that's
pivotal.
another one.
Yeah.
You got to ask questions. Can he stay fit? Is it fit enough to keep him? I think he is. I think he's mint as well. Jota's a good player. It's
Yeah,
that
he
mid,
is. I
it's,
think they missed Jota.
I think they really miss a screen because I was bigging up McAllister. I was bigging up Endo. Like Endo's had a great purple patch and he fell off.
What's his name's going, isn't he, as well?
Who's
The
that?
other centre back.
Matip.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
going.
they got to look at a
He's going.
defender. Who's going to succeed? That
Robertson, is
central-
Robertson
They're looking at left back. Right back looks like it's secure. I'd say.
still? Yeah, I mean, I think right back with Trent and the young
Well,
lad.
they're looking
I
at
think
They're looking at Nori, and I think if you're going to have to, that means either Robertson's going to go or it's going to be Simicast.
Or Robertson is of an age now that maybe he is happy to rotate.
He's going to have to be.
And Robertson is a
He's actually
Robertson,
been one of the better players
Robertson
at the end of
for
the
me,
season.
top 5 left backs probably of all time in the Premier League.
Yeah, like people say Dennis Irwin. I didn't get to witness him really. So Dennis
But
Irwin, Ashley
I'll be putting
Cole,
Robertson up there. So
Robertson's
if they're bringing in
definitely up
someone
there.
else to play alongside him,
Chris
and,
Evra maybe.
yeah, Evra's in there. Cole Evra are definitely in
Who
there.
else is in there that I ain't mentioned? There's
Cole,
I'd even put Leighton Baines up there. There's a lot. Not of all time, but top 10 maybe.
yeah,
but,
top 10, yeah.
But top 5
But so
Robertson's in there.
I would put Robertson
Yeah,
in the
Robertson,
top 5.
yeah.
So I think bringing in somebody maybe younger to
Ainori
learn
they're
off of
looking
him.
at. And
Yeah.
I think that's a wicked. If they can get him, that's wicked. That's so wicked.
We'll see. It's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. I
Yeah.
don't watch much of the Dutch league to see what this manager brings.
It's
but
curious. Transfer
think
window is going
Edwards
to be
is-
beautiful, man.
I think Edwards, if I know Liverpool fans are probably going to give it a few more days of talking about Norbert, but then after that, I think Edwards is going to be trending because I think it's interesting summer for Liverpool.
I would like to
Very
pick up
interesting.
a few of their players, weirdly enough. And I don't, even though I'm a Man United fan, I think McAllister, one of the signs of the season for me.
Yeah, for the
For his
amount they're paying,
price,
seems mad,
35
yeah.
million, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
And if they
absolute
get a
baller.
DM to play next to him, what
That's
would he
what
really
I'm looking.
look
That's
like?
what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. I'll probably gonna. You know what? I'll probably give it to Joel Konza for his debut season for a centre back. That I know he's like 20, 21 or something like that, but I think he's quality. Got a big future.
You'd probably say they dropped off when Curtis Jones got injured as well.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
'Cause Curtis Jones was looking very good for me.
Yeah, I would say.
Curtis
Yeah, I would
Jones
say
was
so.
looking
And I'll
good.
probably say Harvey Elliott. I think he's been mint.
Yeah, he's still a young lad as well.
But I want to know where
Curtis is a bit older
his
than him.
future lies. Does it lie in the wing or in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll
so
see. We'll see. But yeah, well, there we go.
Yeah, man.
I'm not going to lie. I'm waking up smiling every day.
I'm not.
That is the beauty when
I've
you've
got-
done. But anyone that thinks that I'm not humble and that I think this is going to go on forever, I don't. I know it's going to. And do you know what? There's a part of me that's looking forward in a way to
Something new?
something new, something different.
Change.
But I want one more. You know what?
Bit like Never a Foul. Bit of change.
It's going to be hard when Pep goes. I get
yeah.
what Liverpool fans have gone through with Klopp.
Yeah, but
Because
anyways.
with Pep, it's going to be different. So
Like,
one last hurrah.
One last hurrah, one last like from you guys in the comments, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one, 100%. And yeah, we'll see. Summer window begins.